The what? Did I just say? I have to look at my stream manager here. The Elder Revelation. Roy ventures into the depths of the Shrine of Seals. Apparently, the shrine contains more than just the Binding Blade. So, I guess if you didn't unlock the guide and you would get the Binding Blade at this point, you would promote. But if you unlock the guide, you get the Binding Blade plus something else. I can't words. However, Harris, one of Murdoch's best commanders, waits for Roy within. Okay, so if you don't face him during that chapter when he comes out after turn 30, then you face him here for the Gaiden. Because he hasn't yet disposed of the legendary weapon. Oh, there's loot here. I'm gonna have to bring Chad. I guess that's a side support I can work on. He can chat with Ray. I guess. Is this a Fog of War one? Yeah. Pretty far off Fog of War, at least. Lots of lake tiles. Okay. Is there anything that I need to know about for this map, like reinforcements? Let's see here. This version, it's called the Silencing Darkness. Sounds kind of cool. So let's see here. A bunch of initial forces and stuff. Fog of War map. Trap tiles scattered about that will inflict a flat 10 damage on a player unit that steps on them. If a thief steps on these tiles first, they will be harmlessly deactivated. Okay, there are some spike traps in the walls. Some of the treasures are traps that will spawn a mana key if opened. The other 3 chests that are not trapped contain elixirs. The location of the chest contents vary. They could be determined pre-game or decide with random number generation. What? 3 other ones. Okay, so one of them's gonna be trapped and the other's gonna have like elixirs. There's the druid in the center of the map who carries a silent staff, and I'll try to use it on your mage as you approach. There are several druids carrying Fenrir, a powerful dark tome. Their attacks are best avoided. Okay. Yeah, but there's no like reinforcements or anything. Okay. Yeah, this is the chapter where every chest has a 50% chance to be an elixir, 50% chance to be a dragon. Not worth it. Really quickly. Go ahead and put those away. Oh yeah, and all my boots and stuff. Maybe I should take Merlinus just so I can assign a whole bunch of my crap. So, I mean... How many freaking boots did I get anyway in total? I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can give the energy ring to Rutger. So a bunch of my units can get extra movement here if they'd like. Maybe Roy, for after he promotes, then he can get around and get EXP and stuff better. Some of my really good units like Ogier. Gwendolyn, I'm thinking, yeah. Buff up her movement like a couple times, and then she can super zoom. How do I want to assign them? Let's see here. I'm taking Chad anyway. And then he can work on like backup support with Ray. Ray's backup support option there. Because I shouldn't have too much left in terms of supports, right? So can I get away with even, taking Freck and, Melody and Lou? Maybe I just take, Melody and Lou. And if I want another support to work on, I can work on Ray and Chad then anyway. Definitely take Larum. Definitely take both flyers and stuff. I already put boots on my dancer, but I can definitely put more on. Oh yeah, I forgot to give the second, Here, you know what? This'll save me a thing. Hold on, bear with me. This was the, Hold on. I went and I did this. And I forgot to do this. Let's see here. So I do that. And then I do this. So then on turn 30 itself. Can I... Hold on. I'm gonna be a super weirdo. I was just thinking if there's a way that I could get Roy to use the thingamabob, but there's not really a way that I get... Yeah, whatever. I don't have to be a super weirdo. Here, take back your thing. Take back your thing. I was thinking that I was going to give that angelic robe to Roy, and I forgot earlier in the map. Too late now. Can I not skip here? Here we go, hold on. And then this. And then the, skip this. Yeah, so you guys, bring my flyers. Do that. Sure, just go ahead and give this. He can get an angelic robe. So, yeah, and if I have 8 boots, I could give another one to Laram. Let's see here. I'm going to deposit this for now. Definitely going to give a boots to Roy. And then when he promotes, he'll be real good and stuff. So if I have 8 across my team, I would definitely want to give one to Gwendolyn, I think. Here, I can do that now. Give at least 1 to her, if not 2. Ogier's real good here. Let's give him 1. You get some boots, man. So many boots are gonna go around. Here, for my 1 mage that's horseback. Sure, I don't know. Gonzalez, my berserker. Here, Rutger can go ahead and say... Take those for whenever the next time you come into a map is. My snippety sniper. So I have a few boots left. Like my 1 person in my whole army that's using bows, so just in case I really need bows, it's not a bad idea. Here, do that. And then if I have 2 more boots, I could always give Laram a 2nd set. Could make my flyers even better here. What I could always do. They already go pretty far. Movement 8. Movement 8. Could give them to 2 mages. Or I could give all 3 of them to Gwendolyn because it's extremely funny. And her movement would become 8. That would be very funny, admittedly. So yeah, 2 left. Man. And then she gets a super zoom. Is she my one with best defense? 22 defense? 26 defense, holy crap. Yeah, Melody, I think, is just like my best unit. So I could always give her 1. Just for the sake of it. I could give Saul 1 as my only light magic user. Maybe not a bad idea. And then give Melody 1 just to make my best unit even better. Let's see here. Here, I'm depositing the Delphi shield for now. I don't know if there's gonna be any archers this map. And then I can, here, just grab another one of these to burn or something. There, sure, that sounds good, right? Or something. And then Saul wants EXP, so bring him along. And get some staff experience here. I've got to chill out and sleep. Wish you luck with the guide and okie doke. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. Ask the staff. Hope you have a good rest of the night here. Yeah, you could farm some, hold on. Is there anyone else that wants weapon level still that I can work at? Like, there's you. There's you. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. Yeah, it doesn't matter that much for you. So I may as well bring Alan and Lelina then, so they still have, like, some things to work on. is what I may as well do. Here, just take another heal staff. Like that. Yeah. And then, yeah, I can get to S's here, I think. Maybe I grab another lance. This is what I do. Here, let's see. I'll take that, thank you. Meanwhile, here. Here. Just stock up on some basic stuff here. Or I grab that steel lance that I deposited before. Could have sworn there was one that I had a little bit of use into. Let's just take that one there. Sure. And then, yeah, I mean, in case there's anything to steal, I guess I can leave the inventory slots open. Or some such. Here. Potentially be traded around or something. There. Something like that. That sounds good. We have some things that we can work at here. Go ahead and check the map. We'll probably just move as a collective unit, I think. There's not gonna be any rush here or anything. So may as well move together. And those that still need weapon experience are gonna be Alan. Roy doesn't count here. So I'll get some EXP. Yeah, I don't know. Go to the right there or something. I can go around these other ways if I really want to. So the people that can lead can be those that... I guess you don't want regular XP anymore. It's just Saul that wants that. So Saul and Alan can lead. So there's those guys over there. Similar amount of guys over here. I don't know. Yeah, Melody is gonna grind things out with Lou. And then Chad and Ray are gonna be best buds. Or something or other. I don't know. That sounds good to me. Okay, let's go ahead and fight. Let's finally get the Binding Blade. I love how the last chapter was called the Binding Blade and we didn't even get the Binding Blade. When I max out Chad's level, his strength surpassed all my Cavalier strength numbers, which shows that Cavaliers and Paladins just plain suck. Jeez. The battle was lost. Yes, it appears so. I wish I could have been at General Murdoch's side when he fell. I share your feelings. We carry out our final orders from General Murdoch as planned. We will defend the legendary weapon to our deaths if need be. Apocalypse, the Elder Revelation, must not fall into enemy hands. There is a legendary weapon in this place? Yes, I believe so. All I've heard are rumors from other soldiers. But there is apparently a tome meant to protect the shrine from intruders. Time for the final legendary weapon. I agree that the tome is likely a legendary weapon. Byrne's troops are present as well. We will soon fight Zephiel himself. We need as many legendary weapons as we can obtain before then. We must get that tome. I have also heard that there are numerous traps placed about. Traps? Yes, and they are supposedly well crafted at that. Most of us probably lack the dexterity to disarm them. The thieves may be able to take care of them. In any case, do be careful. Yes, we must stay on our guard. Alright, well. Let's see here. So, Alan. Yeah, go here and enjoy yourself. You have a rune sword or something? Light brand. Okay, well. Here. Meanwhile, we grind out this bond. We grind out this bond. Oh yeah, I had stuff that I was gonna use that I kind of forgot I was gonna use. Let's see here. So, yeah, movement increased. Yeah, you can always go preemptively kill some Nudos if you want to. You don't have anything to use here. Go give him some bonuses, I guess. Belina doesn't have anything to use, I don't think. And Laram wouldn't have anything to use here. Did you have anything to use? You didn't have anything to use. You had something to use, but whoops. Okay, well, I should buy a ton of boots to grab my units so much movement. I thought about piling this all into like one person because it'd be extremely funny. Oh my goodness, get completely wrecked. Cool. But yeah, if you just super stock up at an arena, absolutely something that you can do. You divinely smite me? I divinely smite you! Uno reverse card. Yeah, it's not like Saul's gonna be gaining all that much EXP, but at least he can. You're dipping out? Coward. What weird movement option? Okay, well, time to do this, I guess. Yeah, why not there? May as well get an absurd amount of movement and see what happens. Really glad I didn't crit there. Saul can get the kill on a promoted dude. Hey, look, another weapon level S. All I need is axes that we're about to get. And we're pretty much done in weapon level outside of staves. That's a bit harder to grind up. All right, well, yeah, a little bit more EXP there. Yeah, use up the last of that lightning. Yeah, last level is on the horizon now. I can try getting you to D, I guess. Oh yeah, you were the one that needed the health. So let's see here. Magic hands, magic sleeves. I don't know, it doesn't really matter who I do it with at this point. It doesn't seem like. Here, so give this a go. As one does. Nice miss. Just be chipping away at dudes with Saul where I can. Maybe I should have gotten another tome. Maybe what I should have done. I don't know. Here. And then I do this. Take out Mr. Promoted dude. Like that. Yeah, decent bit there. I'll probably get him to level 20 this map. He can kill the boss if he wants. And we're just pretty good, I think. Nobody needs any health around here or anything. Here. Let's see. Boots time. There we go. Even more movement for my most OP unit. Okay, well. Away we go. All this Roy movement. Let's not get too carried away. By zooming ahead. Let's not do that. Yeah, I had thought maybe I should go around the other sides just to farm these dudes. But my weapon levels are gonna get where they need to be pretty shortly here, so it's really not gonna be all that necessary, I don't think. My EXP is gonna be where it needs to be, so it's not really gonna be much point to going around taking out the other guys. So, maybe I'll just take the right route. Is maybe all I'll do. Maybe there's not all that much point in spawning dragons after all. Like, if only Roy was promoted, then I could start funneling into him. But I'm not quite there yet. Alright, away we go. Okay, yeah. I want to put axes on, and I'll get S in that, which will be amazing. Yeah, Alan could go deal with that in a sec. Yeah, let's just truck forward here. I'll deal with those guys that are approaching behind whenever they get close enough that I feel like dealing with them. Okay, here we go. Yeah, should be able to get through this map relatively quickly here. I would think. Oh, here comes some more promoted guys. Here, just because I haven't saved this map yet. Just in case. Here, it's axe experience time. I'm just now realizing I forgot to give Melody... Well, I didn't forget to give Melody back the Delphi shield. I thought I took it off because I wanted to get the boots on. I mean, that's fine. There we go. Look at that. Triple S's. That is what we like to see. Alright, well, support bonuses and stuff. Get Saul close at the ready here. Go ahead and use the boots. And out of curiosity, let's say I were to do this. How much damage would they get back? 17 if it lands? You would get 15 if it lands. I think Saul will be fine. I may as well just... Oh, that wasn't the guy that I attacked. So if there's 2 of them that would get 17 if it lands, that's fine. Just take out this guy. There we go. Why not? Sure. Sure. Let us trek on here. Wait a second. I might just be dumb. Well, hopefully they don't kill Chad. Hopefully not. If they attack him, he'll hopefully just dodge here. Okay, well, he can eat a hit anyway. Oh, that actually works great, then. It's more staff experience to go around. I was kind of hoping that would land. I could always farm guys like that for staff experience if I really wanted to. It is slightly tempting, admittedly. Here, let's do this. But yeah, definitely gonna promote Chad if I find a fell contract. You can't in this game. You could in FE7, you cannot in this game. Unless there's some sort of a mod that grants that. Thieves can't promote in FE6. FE7 is the one that added that. Yeah, Thieves can't promote in this game. FE7 was the one that made it so that Thieves could promote. And then FE8 was finally the one, the final game of the Game Boy Advance games that could have Thieves promote while retaining their thieving abilities. So in FE6, Thieves can't promote. In FE7, they can promote, but they lose their ability to do thief things. And FE8, finally, they can promote while retaining their thief abilities. Yeah, you could always just eat a bunch of arrows there, potentially. Is what we could do. I don't know. Let's see here. I'm just gonna turn off the combat animations from here. I mean, if you want to eat a bunch, it does work. Let's try that. Yeah, it just sucks. At least Chad is max level with 13 strength. At least there's that. Yeah, so here I am bringing unpromoted thief because I literally cannot promote him. Oh, that works fine. Saul's about to reach max level here in a sec. So it doesn't really matter who I feed the snipers to. Or who I feed to the snipers. Whatever the heck the right term would be here. Here, so let's say I then did this. I probably take out... I probably don't even have to take you out. Like, this should probably just give enough experience, right? Yep, look at that, level 20. We're done. I'm hitting harder now. May as well finish you off. Okay, so then I do that. Yeah, I could get a bunch of staff experience here. Maybe I should have brought more staffs. I mean, I brought a few. I brought a decent few. Maybe it's not a bad idea. I could farm staff experience out of it. Oh, you have a brave weapon or something? It looks like. Okay, well. Now I can go ahead and say, yep, brave sword. Go ahead and farm support level while I also farm this. That works well, I think. Yeah, let's try this out. Let's try a little bit of this out. How about? Alright, yeah, get Chad. That's fine. Yeah, no. No, that's not happening here. I appreciate the follow there, the Pikachu King RJ. Just thinking if I move back here. Something. I don't have anything to heal at this time. I'm not getting that support. I'm gonna have to be careful not to hit it by accident. You are gonna prioritize attacking the flyer, probably, right? Probably. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it looks like you do. Yeah, so I can go ahead and, yeah, so staff is the first default option. Good. Yeah, if I do a smidge of this. Yeah, maybe I'll click on the game, so you're not going to see my inputs there anymore. But that doesn't matter that much. Yeah, then I go ahead and do this. And then I can fast forward. Just play with mouse and keyboard for a hot second. Or I guess just keyboard. Like, was there the option of support there just now? Nope. Sure wasn't. Like, I can just... Don't crash on me. I can just do my support grind right now, while also doing a staff grind. Like, get some higher levels of staff available here. Like this. This sounds like a good plan to me. Yep, you just get wrecked. Alright, there's the constant misses in there. Wrong thing. Sure, and then, yeah, just... Oh, here comes a druid, oh noes! So yeah, a whole bunch of them are just gonna be coming after me. Wow, you can't even hit her! Maybe I should put someone else in that spot or something. What the heck? Here. Get out of here. Here we go, support. Yeah, that'll help me in some niche maps like this if it really matters. Hey, Ray. Chad. I don't recall summoning you. Look, I wouldn't be here if I didn't need to be. What do you want? Roy. I mean, Lord Roy wants to see us. Think I care? Pipe down, don't be so loud. The Merlis guy will be after us again. You're afraid of that old geezer, aren't you? Well, sure. He and Lord Roy are nobles. Little Chad bows down to nobles now, does he? Laugh if you like. Let me say this. Nobility don't like to be opposed. Lord Roy doesn't seem like he would anger too easily. But I don't know about the others. I don't want to see the people I care about get hurt. I know you're proud of that mouth of yours. But unless you want to be killed, keep it shut. I'm going. You better come too. Yeah, Ray's only planned support within, like, my main squad is Lou. But I figure, like, hey, Chad, backup kind of like Trek is, because sometimes there's maps where I want to bring a thief, and then Ray has a support partner that way. Was my thought process. Here. Go ahead and do that. You can come back this way. Ooh, okay, sweet. I'm gonna get it done. Awesome. Hello, Madam Melody. Lou. I'm sorry I ran off like that before. No, it's all right. I'm glad you're speaking to me again. I didn't want things to end like that. Will you listen to my story? Of course. My parents died when I was 4. So yesterday, and ever since then, I'd been living at an orphanage in Lycia. It was tiny, with only 7 kids and 1 priest who we all called Papa. The oldest kids were Chad, my twin brother Ray, and I. So we 3 took care of the younger children. We were poor, but we were happy anyway. After Burns started this war, our lives began to change. Food started getting scarce, and we sometimes had to resort to begging. Cad, he started stealing food without telling Papa. Ray got fed up with that lifestyle and left one day without a word. Hated Byrne. Y'all did. Byrne was responsible for everything. Byrne killed Papa. Just wanted Byrne to disappear. That's what I kept telling myself. Anger motivates better than sorrow. Anger has kept me alive, so I can protect the children. So, for now, at least until the war ends, I have to stay angry at Byrne. But you're on our side, right? I don't have to hate you. Do I? It would make me so happy if you didn't hate me, Lou. Why does my nose keep being so itchy? If you would let me, I'd even like to be your friend. Thank you, Madam Melody. There we go. I did the thing. Nice. So I have her main support and then like the backup one. And Lou has his 2 ones going on here. So he's the one that's like mostly buffed up here. A super mage. And we have a pretty buffed up super mage here too. Pretty nice. Got some good supports going around here. So yeah, there'll maybe be some last support points to be gained between Ray and Chad. Not enough to reach another conversation, I wouldn't think. But hey, we got our 2 conversations that we went into this map hoping for. What are we at on, okay. Well, we'll get each of them to at least D in stabs before the end. Which will be nice. Let's at least get that unlocked. Because then they can use some better things, instead of having to offload, like, all my better stabs onto Claren, Saul, and maybe Lilina, depending on some of them. If there's any D stabs, these 2 would be able to use it too then. Weapon level increased, hell yeah! Weapon level D, sweet. Alright. I believe Lilina's at C. And both the people that pre-promoted with it are at S. Oh, you got hit there. Okay, but you can eat another one of those. If I move back... Wait a second, I can do this. This is what I can do. Like this. There we go. Like that. Then I don't let them get any headway. Let's move your support partner away so that there's less chance of you dodging. Guess I can move someone else in this spot now. I can do. So I could do something like this, even. Just so that people are farther away from their support partners, and then they're gonna be, like, more likely to get hit. Is the hope. And that should speed this up a little bit. This is what I think. Okay. Look at that. Okay, so I mean, just in case here. Yep, this is stop skirting that way. Just in case. Here. What? Oh, I thought you got hit there. It was you that got hit there. It's gonna be fine. Because you miss. So then I come over here. I do the heal. I do the dance. I go back here. I can go ahead and do this. Okay. Oh, okay, that works well. Because then I can do this. And then I can do that. And then I can do that is not actually what I meant to do. Shit. Dodge both, Chad. Okay, well, that works. Okay, well. Sure. I'll go at this for a little while here. Get some good weapon EXP. stuff to chat about in the meantime here. I was mentioning stuff at the lake earlier. So I did a bunch of grafting out there. Did a bunch of establishing little garden spaces there. Like my Haskap garden and the raspberry and gooseberry garden. So basically like the spiky berry plant corner. We got the boat put into the lake. The pier was put out there. Essentially, every spring, the whole community comes together to... Well, not the whole community, but a lot of the community comes together to get the pier put into the lake. Assemble it piece by piece in the freezing cold water. While, in the fall is when we take the darn thing out. So we got that in. We got the boat launched. So that's in the water. Got it tarped up. Got the canopy put on the boat lift. Things are looking pretty good there. It'll be interesting to see if any of my grafts take. Though I've done a bunch of grafting in the city here onto different trees, and I haven't seen anything take yet on any of the trees that I... Oh, okay. What a weirdo. Oh, because I went onto the wrong tile. Whatever. Haven't seen any of the ones take yet on my neighbor's trees, on my trees. The stuff at the lake is a little bit too recent since it was just this past weekend. Haven't seen anything taking on my Oma's crabapple tree. But I was over at my Oma's place earlier today, and I noticed that my sour cherry grafts all seem to be taking. And that's a graft that I did later than the crabapple, so you think like the crabapple grafts would be growing first, considering I put them on earlier. But it seems like the sour cherry ones are growing already. So I was quite surprised about that. So in the front of, let's see here. Yeah, I'm getting little bits of experience there. In the front of my Oma's yard, for a long time, there used to be a big sour cherry tree. I believe it was an Evans cherry tree. I don't know that for sure, but my research shows that it's most likely an Evans cherry for the specific variety of sour cherry. And my Opa and I always used to harvest cherries off of that. I would get on the ladder and get the higher up ones. He would be low down and get the lower down ones. And we'd fill up like several buckets of cherries every year. It would produce quite a lot. And those are like the best things ever for sour cherry cakes and jams and just like the best baking thing ever. I had some earlier today that my Oma had made of sour cherry jelly. Not of jelly, of cake. And is real good. But that tree, like, it had been there as long as I had remembered. So maybe it was just there with the house or something like that. And several years ago, it ended up dying. But it's a type of cherry tree that suckers. So there was new little baby trees coming up from the ground in areas around it. And there's a nice, new, decently sized tree in its place. 2 years ago, that tree produced one cherry. Last year, it produced its first full 1 bucket full. Maybe this year it'll be like a bucket and a half, maybe 2 buckets, if it keeps on going up there. It's a decently sized tree. It's looking pretty nice. It'll one day get as big as its parent before it. But there's like other cherry suckers in the yard there. So the thought had happened before to give them away to other people that want cherry trees, like just dig them up and give them away. But the problem that I found with that is that these suckers in the network typically didn't have much of their own roots, if at all. Instead, they just had like this really, really thick singular root that went across the garden that connected them all in like an intricate network. So while it's different trees popping up, you could argue in terms of like connections, it's technically one plant. It's just like this one tree has spread out to other spots and is photosynthesizing more, you could argue. So when I was cutting them out, it was basically the equivalent of taking cuttings, which you can propagate things by taking cuttings. Let's see here. Let's do this, where it's like you literally take a piece off of something and put it in some water or some soil, and then it roots on its own. Like, that is absolutely a thing that you can do. But I was digging out all these sour cherry suckers, and they were very, very much struggling to make their own roots. Most of the ones that I dug out and put in pots to give away to people died. The one that didn't die, I ended up taking out to the lake cabin, and it's planted out there where our old plum tree used to be before the porcupine ended up eating it. So now we have like a little tiny baby cherry tree out there that's about this big that I planted last year. but I had wondered, like, how can I dig up sour cherry trees and have it be, like, a greater success rate, since my Oma's neighbors had wanted a sour cherry tree before. But oh yeah, the support bonuses. Dang it. And I'd given them one before, but it just ended up dying since, like, it didn't have its own roots, and it would lose moisture through transpiration, like, through the leaves, and dry out and die before it was able to make its own roots in time. It would overstress it. So I had a new long plan, and that long plan started last year, where in the fall time, when the trees were starting to go dormant, their life functions were majorly slowing, I did a bunch of digging in the soil, and I found all those connecting, like, big, thick roots, and I just severed them. So these trees had gone dormant, their life cycles were slowed, but they were independent. So when they woke up in the spring, and the springtime is when they're most actively growing, they get, like, quite the spurt of energy. I wanted them to go like, hey, I don't have roots of my own. I've gotta make roots of my own. And I use some of that energy that goes towards, like, active spring growth towards root growth. So maybe a little bit less, like, branch and vertical growth that year, this following spring, but, like, more root growth. So I've been leaving them to grow there for a while now, and some of the sour cherry suckers just have not been, like, growing at all. Like, they look essentially like completely bare, dead little trees. So maybe it was a little bit too much severing them from the network. They just couldn't become independent. That's the case for, I believe, 2 little trees in there. Couldn't handle being separated from the network. But the rest of them look beautiful, happy, healthy little trees. And so I was chatting with my Oma's neighbor earlier today, and I said, like, hey, would you like one of the cherry trees? And I gave her one that went from the ground probably up to, like, this height, like a decent little sized tree, like maybe something that you'd find at a nursery. Like, some things that you find at a nursery are, like, pretty darn tall, but, something that's, like, a good medium height that you'd find at a nursery is what that absolutely seemed like a good, decent size. So she said, sure, like, we'll take it. We'll try again with planting one. And I dug it up, and I found exactly the places where I'd cut before, and it seems like I did, like, cut all the right places, like it was completely independent, and it had just the beginnings of some of its own roots coming out. Unlike previous years, where they wouldn't have any of their own roots, so you transplant them and they just die because they don't root in time. So I was able to actually give them a sour cherry tree that I believe is going to live, and it seems like they're planting it in, like, a nice spot right in the front yard, right on the other side from its sibling tree, the new big one in my Oma's yard that is taking over. No, I guess that guy's done for. So that was fun earlier today. Where's my phone? I had it plugged in because, like, my battery was completely drained. Let's see here. I can, yeah, I know, iPhone storage full, yada yada. If I post some of the thingamabobs here from digging up these trees. Wow, something like this. So I was digging a whole bunch of these trees today. Let's see, and I have more people that are interested in trees, so I might end up giving away some more of these soon. Let's see here. So, yeah, these guys. So this was the one that I gave away, looking lush green, happy, healthy. There's some other ones here. All sorts of different ones that I can dig up and give away since they just kind of pop up in the garden here. This one is starting to come. Like, so maybe it was focusing on rooting a little bit more first and took a little bit more time for that because it's only just now growing. So I thought that that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so I dug up this guy to give away. And I noticed that it actually had, it's kind of hard to see here. I guess I didn't post one of the photos that actually showed a bunch of the roots. But these little tendrils are like the actual, its own roots coming out a bit. Whereas this big leg here and this one here are the connections to, like, the whole sucker root system that I severed last fall that forced it to be independent. Like, let's see here. Yeah, this. Where it's, like, actually starting to make its own roots. So it still has a long way to go, but it's making progress here. You can transplant it and it'll live, considering it was in that spot with that amount of roots and it lived. So it's a-okay there. Here, you can get some weapon experience there. Hello, Reggie Bump. How's it going this morning? Here, sure. Farm it with Chad, I guess. Why not? This guy's just giving up. He's letting himself die. So I presume it's the same for these other cherry trees, since they're fully independent at this point. It's not like they have, like, the parent tree to rely on, / the network to rely on. The original parent tree is gone. After all, away we go. Let's go ahead and save state here again. So it'll be nice to be able to give away a bunch of trees. Here, sure. Let's trek on down here. The support is done, so Lou can just get on down there. Oh, I was about to say Ray and Chad can still work at stuff. They do have their second support level at the ready immediately. I can go ahead and get that right now. That's probably going to be all the supports that we get here. Let's see. Hey. What? You still steal, don't you? I've got no choice. Can't use magic like you. My only use in this army is picking locks and gathering intel. No, I think it's invaluable. What? The other day when we went to see that Roy fellow, he said he appreciated our work because we're close to his age. But you humbled yourself the whole time, belittling your work. Yeah, and? You do something no one else can. Have some pride in it. You look stupid when you put yourself down. Are you trying to cheer me up? Don't be ridiculous. How would I ever want to cheer you up? Yeah, I thought so. Good. You got me worried for a second. Fine, I'm leaving. Hey, what's your problem? Well, there, look, some supports and stuff. You guys can just be at the ready over here, or you can go preemptively start killing if you want. Like, why not? But yeah, and also when it comes to the cherry trees here. But yeah, it's Fire Emblem 3 Houses support. Yep, that is what's going on there. But, oh, the silent staff. Oh, you missed. Sucks for you. Can we, like, oh, those are walls. Wait. Oh, so yeah, we have to go around like that way. I gotcha. All right, well, we can do that. So yeah, the original tree that was there is gone. Oh my god, I can go so dang far. Oh, there's a trap. Wow. But in its place is, like, the new pretty decently sized tree. Yeah, might as well do that. Plus, a whole bunch of suckers. So, there are, I'd say, 2 substantial ones. The one that's kind of, like, right in the middle of the front of the yard. And one that's kind of off in, like, a back corner, like, right alongside the house. And that one is super bushy. I remember one of the guys that helped get me into, fruit tree grafting in the first place. I showed him that, and he had said that he thinks that might just be, like, the natural form that an Evans cherry takes, is, like, a bushy kind of formation, unless you train it to be a tree. Which, maybe then, my little sucker that's out at the lake right now, I've noticed, is starting to make, like, more stalks, like, right from the bottom base, so I wonder if I should prune those off to train it to be more of a tree. But it's just, like, this bushy kind of thing. And my Oma wanted for a long time me to just dig it out, but I thought, like, hey, this is, like, a pretty decently sized tree. Like, you've got all these stalks all over the place. Like, it's a pretty decently sized tree. Not all that much behind the main one in the yard. Like, maybe a year or 2 behind. Or maybe not even that much. Maybe it's just that, you know, it makes up for its smaller general size and, like, bushiness, even if it doesn't have, like, as thick of a trunk. It just has multiple stalks and stuff. Like, it's a pretty decently sized tree, and I wanted to use it. So I got a whole bunch of cherry sticks at this grafting event that I went to. Well, more heals for me. And I got sweet cherry sticks. Since we already have sour cherries there, I figure, like, hey, let's try growing sweet cherries now. Hey, look, the crit, cool. So I grafted on a bunch of sweet cherry types and a few sour cherry types, just for, like, some different flavors. Wow. Just because, like, cherry sticks isn't something that you're going to be seeing a lot of at the event, so I got, like, a whole bunch of different types of what I saw. So mostly sweet cherries, some sour cherries, because then we can leave, like, the one sour cherry tree that's in the middle of the yard untouched as is, pristine, but we can have a sweet cherry tree in the corner of the yard. So we'd have a sweet cherry tree for fresh eating and a sour cherry tree for baking, which would be really nice. And then you have, like, a nice little pair of cherry trees, which are probably connected by the same root system. Like, I didn't sever any roots over there. Like, it kind of goes corner, whole bunch of suckers, new kind of main tree. So unless me severing all the stuff over here resulted in severing the connection between, like, the bushy tree and the main tree, then they probably still have a connection going on. So it'll be a sweet cherry and a sour cherry that, like, share nutrients with each other through their root system, which will be kind of cool stuff. So I tried grafting some sweet cherries on there, and I had a look when I was there earlier today. Can't believe the Three Houses devs saw this support and said, excellent, and let's do this for every character's B support. Yeah, that's how it goes. Lou wants the heal EXP the most here, I think. Yeah, all the ones I'm using are now max level. Roy is going to be able to gain some more levels after the end of this, after he promotes, because he's still unpromoted. Because that's just this game for you, where it's right at the end of the game that he finally promotes. Away we go. I could dance, but meh. Not too much point here. But yeah, so I was checking my sour cherry graphs onto that little bushy tree in the corner. And if I scroll in my camera roll back to when I first put on these grafts, there's some cute pictures of my lizard. That was about... when did I put them on? Whatever, it's not too important. I'll grab the ones from today here. So when I was checking these graph points, I noticed... let's see here. When I first put them on, it's a dormant stick. It's just like a stick with buds on it that looks like it's either dead or asleep. It's dormant because they're taken off in the wintertime and you graft them on this spring when the tree is actively growing. And despite the fact that all my other grafts I've seen nothing from yet, even my ones that I did like weeks before this point, the ones that I put on the sour cherry not all that long ago are now growing. Like, the buds are bulging, which implies that, you know, this type of cherry and this cherry that I put it onto have healed together, and this is getting nutrients and energy from the roots. Like, this waxed end here, whoever, like, brought this stick to that event in the first place would have dipped the end in wax to help seal in moisture and stuff, but a bud can break through if, like, it needs to. Yeah, this was a complete wax end before. It was completely covered, and a bud has grown and broken through. So, both of my attempts here are growing. So you can see, like, that's breaking through. I couldn't get my camera to focus in on just that. So I noticed that it was breaking through the wax. This one, I can see that there's, like, green starting up here. It's starting to bulge. So this had clearly healed together. I've noticed a little bit with these ones. There's some green poking out, so both of those probably worked in that case. On this side, it looks like this one might have failed. I don't see any green from this one yet, but this one clearly worked. This is starting to grow. So I was quite surprised earlier today, because I did not put those on too long ago. I think it was May 14th, I think, on my camera roll for the dates of first putting them on. Let's see here. If I go by day, so like 10 days ago. Let's see here. By days, if I go to... was it May 14th that I put it on here? It was something like that. Yeah, it was... or it was May 13th. So it was 11 days ago. Well, about 10 days ago. You know, you gotta consider the fact that it's just after midnight here, so if you want to count this as the 24th or the 23rd here, but point is, the day that I looked at this, it was only 10 days later, and they're already growing. So, I don't know if it's gonna take more time for, like, all my apple grafts, or if there's something about sour cherry that just grows super vigorously, but now this, like, bushy tree in the corner is now seemingly growing into a multi-variety sweet cherry tree, which is really quite cool. So this idea that I had in my head of, like, sour cherries over here and sweet cherries over here, yeah, it seems like that's already in progress, would seem. I really hope that my other grafts work. I did a lot of grafting this year. I'm kind of disappointed that I haven't seen any growth from the other ones yet. But yeah, the one 10 days ago on this sour cherry tree is now just growing like crazy. Maybe it's because I took off more significant sections on that tree. I figured, there's so many stalks coming right up. I can, you know, take it off lower. Whereas on existing trees, if you just take off like a single branch over here, the tree's gonna be like, oh, it's just a branch. I don't need to push that much energy that way. I'll do it if I need to. But if you cut like right at the bottom of the base where it's actively trying to like push up from and cycle a lot of energy through, then it's like, okay, well, time to heal that. That's a way that I want to grow. And because that tree is very much my plaything, where there's so many stalks that I can play around with and, you know, I can take off more in the future if I want to. I took off some stuff much lower down and took off much more significant branches. I was taking off like honking parts of this tree to replace with these little sticks. So it does make sense that the tree would think like, hey, I had a lot of growth there before. I need to keep on going this way. I'm not just going to abandon that. Try to take off some decently sized branches on the other trees as well, but we'll see. Maybe I didn't take off decently sized ones enough to convince it that it should heal to there. We'll see. I'll give it some more time. See what happens. I'm hopeful. Like, I guess my technique was just fine considering, you know, that had grafted on fine the sour cherries there. And I did the same technique across all different trees, so I guess the technique is just fine. Just a matter of it's up to the tree if they want to actually heal to there now and continue to grow. So, we'll see what happens for my other trees. But for now, it seems like I'm successfully growing sweet cherries on a sour cherry rootstock, which is really cool to just transform a sour cherry tree into a sweet cherry tree just because I didn't want any more sour cherries. The fact that that's a thing that you can do is so cool. I love science, man. But yeah, call me crazy, but I think Twitch wants me to watch Mission Impossible, getting ads of that. I always thought Alir didn't have good stats for a character you're stuck with, but at least he isn't stuck in a pre-promotion class when you want to switch. Yep, I gotta take Roy all the time, and he's stuck in a pre-promotion class, and it's just so much pain. So very much pain. I think one day it would also be really cool to see if I could grow plums on that tree, which I think is probably possible, but is gonna be much harder if I ever try to do it. Horse Slayer. I don't know. Because cherries and plums, they're in the same plant family, Prunus, stone fruits. Essentially fruits that have, like, only one seed per fruit, being that hard pit in the middle. So, like, I have apricot seeds here right somewhere. I think I put them in my drawer. Did I put them over here? I was just about to show apricot pits and be like, look, that's the stone. That's the stone of stone fruit. I don't know where I put... Oh, right here. So those are apricot seeds, for example. Stone fruits are fruits that make a single seed that is like a hard stone like that needs to be eroded over time before it can grow. So they are related, but you can graft plum with like apricot, peaches, other plums, like they're closely related enough. Doing it with cherries is a little bit more of a stretch, just because like, you know, a little bit more distantly related in that same family tree. But I've heard stories of people grafting things as like a bridge for... Okay, you were gone for a second there. As like a bridge first, and then they graft on another thing that they actually want. So it's like, this thing can graft to this thing and this thing, but these two things cannot graft to one another. So you graft this thing in the middle, and then it's enough of like a slow transition that they are able to share nutrients in such a way that it can all be one thing. So I think one day I would like to try this with what's called a Nanking cherry, which is a type of cherry. It's a species of cherry. So as far as I could tell when I was doing research, it's like sour cherry is essentially like the species, and then like the variety of sour cherry is like the variety there. Sweet cherry is a species or something like that. Choke cherry is a species, and Nanking cherry is basically in its own, you know, realm of species. So it seems like there's a lot of different species of cherries that take all sorts of different forms. And so I don't think I would ever be able to graft like a choke cherry to one of these sour cherries. I grafted choke cherry to our choke cherry trio at the lake, see if we can get some different flavors of choke cherry, because that'll be related enough. But I have interest in trying to graft on the Nanking cherry to these sour cherries, because apparently the Nanking is more closely related to plums than it is to true cherries, despite being called a cherry. So my thought process is if I give a stalk to grow into like Nanking cherry, so it's like sour cherry roots, Nanking cherry stalk, then I cut off that Nanking cherry stalk and then stick a plum on it, that can be my crazy witchcraft way to grow plums on my cherries. Essentially, on those sour cherry trees. So, maybe with work over many years, I didn't graft any Nanking cherries on this year. That might have to be like a next year kind of thing. But if I get Nanking cherry sticks one of these days and commit to this like multi-year project, maybe one day I'll be able to successfully grow sweet cherries, sour cherries, and plums, and then by extension maybe like apricots and stuff like that too, all on this one bushy tree in the corner of the yard there. My Oma would like me to move into her place one day, since I'm like the only grandkid that doesn't have a place figured out already. Where the hell is Lou? Am I blind? Okay, I already moved him. I was just thinking in terms of like need to heal and stuff like that. But yeah, and I definitely wouldn't mind moving into that place one day. Here, Ray gets some. So, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing there is also kind of like future for a place that I may be living in. So it'd be really cool to have like in the front yard, in the corner of the property, this like super crazy multi-species tree. I would have it be primarily a multi-variety cherry tree, like grafting multiple things of cherry. I might just dedicate like one stalk to go up to be like a Nanking / plum kind of thingamabob. Maybe. Unless it does really well for itself, and then maybe I want to do more of that. I have heard that, you know, some things might be compatible enough that they graft on at first and are starting to grow, but like over time, the nutrients that they share with one another isn't quite what the other expects, and then they like eventually die. So like some things that are like just barely compatible might only live for like a couple of years, so I'd want to give it time first to see if the whole sour cherry to Nanking to plum idea works. But if it did, could maybe grow plums, could maybe grow apricots on this on this tree. Would be kind of cool. So I got really excited earlier today when I saw that my sweet cherries were growing on this sour cherry tree. It'll probably be a couple of years before I get to pick any sweet cherries, but I don't think I've ever even actually tasted what a sweet cherry grown in this climate tastes like. I assume probably not as good as BC cherries, where Alberta gets a lot of its sweet cherries from. Is the province right next to us, the BC, a lot of which come from the Okanagan Valley, because you can grow all sorts of crazy stuff there. Some of the best stuff you can grow in Canada comes from there. Here, take out this guy. And those cherries are really good. I assume that the varieties that you could grow here and are more cold hardy, that could survive in this environment, are probably not going to be as good tasting, but they'll probably still be good. I mean, even those sour cherries that are on that tree, I do generally like even just for fresh eating. I didn't as a kid, but nowadays as an adult, I definitely do. Like, I really do quite like the flavor of them. So, we'll see what these sweet cherries are like. I could use that to just, like, grind for a bunch of staff experience now if I really wanted to. But, I mean... Here. Yeah, I got an elixir. Wow. Isn't that cool? Let's see here. Do that. Yeah, I could give Lou a bunch more. D? Or maybe just try to go, like, really ham with Lilina here at this point. Because he's already at D. I think Ray is at D now, too. See if I can get Lilina to B or something like that. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, okay, never mind. Let's see. Wow. Thank you, RNG. If each one is really a 50-50. Either 50-50, like was being mentioned in the chat earlier, or it's a 25% chance at first, then like a 1/3 chance for like the Manakete to spawn. If it's always that one chest is the Manakete. The AI's learning. It knew that I wanted to grind there, and it was like, hey, nope, not happening. Oh, there's 6 chests, not 4. Huh, okay. Well, away we go, I guess. Off and away. So yeah, while this map drags on really boringly, that's my kind of that's my story of some new stuff going on around here in terms of the whole gardening endeavors. So I am really quite excited about the prospects of growing all sorts of different varieties of cherry on this sour cherry tree. And then one day, as the years pass and these trees grow in, there'll hopefully be a nice, healthy, beautiful sour cherry tree on one side, a nice, healthy, beautiful, multi-variety, mostly sweet, partially sour cherry tree with all sorts of different flavors and cool things. Or maybe as I try out the different flavors as they grow, I decide, I really like that one. I want to promote more growth of that, and I cut back the other ones and promote the growth of just the one that I want, or something like that. Like, one of the ones I grafted on there is called a white gold cherry, I believe, which, reading online, it says it's only hardy to zone 5, which is, like, you know, wouldn't cut it for this climate, but it was at that event for, like, local grafting stuff, so, like, maybe we could get away with it, or something like that. We'll see. It was one of the ones that was growing, so we shall see. It was at this local grafting event, so I assume people get away with growing it here somehow. Or maybe it's just like a variety of it that was hybridized to be cold hardy enough to be able to get by here. But anyway, it's not a red type of cherry. It's kind of yellow with like a hint of red. It looks really interesting and it looks really delicious. And that's kind of the one that I grafted on the most central part that might become like the most central, like, wow. The central leader of the tree, like the main trunk stem that gives the whole tree definition, is kind of the place that I grafted it onto, is right in the middle point. So it can be the thing that really becomes what the tree mainly is. Its primary variety. So we'll see. If it ends up dying, if the winter ends up being like too harsh on it and ends up dying, then whatever. I can just cut that stem like even further down and graft something else on instead next year. So I'll keep an eye out for frost damage, but I would really like to get some yellow sweet cherries. It'll be really quite nice. So much movement. Exactly like how a player would if it controlled the enemy instead of weaker units to die so you couldn't grind off them. Yep. Didn't want me getting stronger long term. It seems like. Away we go. I don't know if there's any more support to grind here, but just in case you guys stick together, why not? So yeah, that's my story with the cherries. It's exciting prospects. So away we go. When I went over to my Oma's place earlier today, I was going out to go pick up my oil filter for my truck so I could give it that oil change. And while I was out and about, my Oma texted me and said that, like, the wind damage seemed like it had done a lot to the tomato plants that had been planted in her yard just a couple days prior. So I came over and checked them, and most of them, it seemed like just needed proper staking up, so I tied them properly. But one of them, really sadly, a Brandywine OTV tomato, had completely snapped at the stem. Like, it was just kind of done for, which is really sad. It's the only one of that variety that I had, and I really wanted to try out its flavor this year. But it seems like there might still be a second chance for it. So I took it off. I took off all the leaves that I didn't need, leaving just a little bit of leaves at the top so that it can continue to grow from, like, you know, the bit where it can grow from. All the leaves along the stem I just removed so that it wouldn't lose too much moisture through transpiration. And then put it in water, and we'll see if it grows roots. Apparently you can grow tomatoes by cuttings, so might just be able to get away with it. Let's rush in here and heal. Why not? Let's give that a go. So it is now sitting in a cup of water on my Oma's windowsill at her place. And, you know, we'll give it some time, and if it grows its own roots again, then we can put it back in the ground, and it'll have a little bit of a setback, but it'll get there eventually and live and be a-okay. So here's hoping, because yeah, I should have staked it up better in the first place, so that was a little sad there. But hopefully we'll be a-okay. We'll see. Just look at this map. Oh, disabled trap. Generic blue versus generic red plus Roy. Yep, such is how it goes. Darkness from an age long forgotten. I will show you its power. Oh, man. What a What a video game this is, huh? Here, let's go ahead and turn the stuff back on. Doesn't really matter who kills at this point. Here, use light magic against the dark magic guy. Wow, you suck. May as well use a physical attack. Here, Lilina gets more staff experience. I could farm off of this guy. Yeah, it's obvious who Roy is. Meanwhile, everyone else might as well be a cow. Now we've got that striking red hair. What can he do at this point? 0 against a mage. Yeah, lower defense than Rez. I can do a little bit of damage with the silver sword. Regular iron here, I can't do anything. And Roy's maxed out for what he can be at this point. I was just curious there. Let's see here. Sure, give this a go. Dang. Oh, if he lands attacks, he's gonna heal because he has Nosferatu. It is worth noting. While this is going on, one picture that I can share is of the setup that I got for the tomato garden over there. No! Why you do this, man? Let's see here. So it would have been about... When the heck did I take the dang photo? Here. Go ahead and do this. It'll be right around this area. I got things in the ground. There we go. That's where it be. Alright, well... Sure, and then chill out there for now. So, my little setup there. Okay, he's going after Lou. Please miss. Nice. Okay, we'll get some damage back. Ooh, a decent smidge of damage back. Cool. Let's see here. Where's my display capture again? There we go. There's this nice little setup in front of the garage where I grew a lot of tomatoes this year, so I have more planted in like other sections of the garden, but this is like the main row, a row of 8. We have a Creole tomato from Louisiana. We have a vintage wine tomato that I got from the States. We have the super sweet yellow ones that have kind of taken over here before, and last year went up to the garage roof up here, and I was the only one that could reach them. We'll see if it does the same this year. We have the Brandywine OTV, which is the one that snapped, that is now just the tiniest little bits of leaves at the top, sitting in a water glass on the windowsill right now. We have a black Brandywine. The other tomatoes that are planted elsewhere are yellow Brandywine, red Brandywine, and pink Brandywine. We have a Sudeth strain Brandywine. There's a lot of Brandywine ones there. We have a red Sweet Million to compare to what I think is the yellow Sweet Million here and see if it seems like they're related and stuff. And we'll see if this one goes up to hit the garage roof as well. It is already extremely tall. Like, it has grown so much faster than the other tomato plants here, so these are the tall ones. Then we have a chocolate striped icicle tomato, which looks really weird and doesn't even quite look like a tomato at first. So I got all this set up here, which I think looks pretty nice. It'll be pretty nice as they fill in. Last year, there was an issue with this little walkway where the tomatoes were kind of going out onto that, and I had to be careful stepping over them. So I tried to put them, like, really close along the wall this time, so there's more space and stuff. Planted a whole bunch of carrots in here. Like, this is all one big carrot area. You see, like, one sunflower poking through. I don't know if I should transplant that and move it somewhere else. Got, like, 5 varieties of carrot put in there. So I've been planting a bunch of stuff there. Kitty is sulking. So it goes. Here, come on, Alan. If Alan misses his second hit, which would be kind of cool, I'll finish off with Roy. Miss. Nope, Alan got it. Darkness. I am being consumed by darkness. So yeah, there's my plant rambles for something maybe slightly more interesting while this kind of boring map is going on. Oh no! There was a freaking guy inside the box! No! I can't believe it. Well. Here, get him. Yeah, it's a trap. It do be. Look, I can kill him. It's fine. There's 2 more chests. Do I want to go get them? It's 50-50. They're an elixir or they're a dragon. So, I mean, like... There's all these other guys I'd have to fight if I want to go there, though. Ugh. It's just annoying. Do I really want to? Am I really gonna be that greedy? Oh no, another guy! Okay, who keeps shoving all these dragons in all these chests, huh? Keeps doing it. This might be a coin flip. I think it is. I think it is 50-50. So, I mean, I figured you'd come over to attack. So, I mean, I can go over there and, screw it. There might be a whole 2 elixirs in there. I can't help myself. Before I completely, screw everything up. Well, on the next turn here. Oh, no, as in whether you do it. Well, I can get over there fast enough, I think. Ow. Out of curiosity, could I farm staff experience this way? If only I had brought Merlinus. Wait a second. I could actually farm staff experience off this map if I really wanted to. Huh. So... Huh. Interesting. I could give a whole bunch to Lilina if I wanted to. Huh. Yeah, I only have so many stabs here. No damage. Wow, you didn't even come over or anything? Huh. Yeah, I could get my, my staff experience. Alright, well, squad, we're rolling out. Whee! Okay, go, Chad. Just making sure I used up the one-use lockpick first. Okay, do that. Get over this way. Get ready to attack a dragon guy. Yep, the B team here. Alright, well. Wow, an elixir! Amazing! That's so awesome! I don't know whether I'll end up using it or not, but, yeah, that's gonna be in your range. So let's just, like, do this first. Oh, okay, you're gonna be a weirdo like that, I guess. Oh, no! A Dagron! Nose! Alright, well. There. Back we go. Okay, so... That's fine. There goes my lightning. That guy doesn't want to come over. He's a little bit smarter, I guess. Okay, well... Let's see here. Maybe I'll farm a bunch of staff experience with Lilina. See how high she can get. And then she'll have kind of a dual-purpose role. Offense and healing. So who was on here that was taking damage before? Not you. I don't think it was you either, because you were over here and stuff. Roy could probably take damage. What could probably happen? Right before he promotes. Yeah, maybe I'll, let's see here. So let's say I were to go here. Yeah, I eat a little bit of damage. That's all I really need to eat. So, I mean... yeah, I could just do something like this. Just in case there's any last little bits of support points they can squeak out. Whoops. If I could figure out how to do this, like, super fast. Okay. I could totally make a script that just does this automatically, too. Whoops. Dang it. But I feel like the time that it would take me to make it would outweigh the amount of time that I'm actually going to be putting into this anyway. So it probably doesn't even matter. Okay, I have so many stabs. So I may as well use them, right? Okay, come on. I don't know. I can't help myself. At C, I don't actually know what stabs there are, like what weapon level they correspond to, what things this is actually going to unlock for me. But I kind of want to do it and make my Lilina like really good and stuff. Just make her the best possible unit that I can make her here. That's what I would like. Okay. Let's see here. I've been making some more progress on that video essay. I was thinking about streaming yesterday, but I didn't, and I spent the night video editing instead. So I brought the runtime from like 30-something minutes to about 49 now. I got the final parts of my script narrated, and that took like an hour, along with like a lot of failed takes in the mix there, so it's not necessarily going to add like another hour of runtime to the video. But it really goes to show that I've really got my work cut out for me. But yeah, make her strong. Roy clearly won't make it. He'll continue to get stabbed over and over again here. Don't worry, he can take it. A heel broke, no. Here you go. So, yeah, I've really got my work cut out with me for that. I want to beat this game before Megaland so I can do some trial maps at Megaland, as I mentioned before. The video essay I do not have to have done for Megaland, but it's not that long after. You know, June 5th when Megaland ends on June 1st. So I'll have just a few days after Megaland to get that video done. And we're gonna want to have it done in advance so I can, like, proof watch it and fix any mistakes and stuff like that. So that's another reason why, despite the fact that I'm kind of behind on, you know, some of my other playthroughs, like Final Fantasy VII, that I have not streamed for some time now, here I am streaming this. Because I want to make sure that I am on top of the two things that I want to be on top of before Megaland. Being this video game and the Switch 2 video essay. Look at that, B! Wow. So, we learn such tactics for your lord, the Viltrum Empire? This does seem like a tactic that Viltrum would use to, get as strong as possible and conquer the universe and all that. Okay. But yeah, so I would like to stream some other things to get on top of some of these other playthroughs. Like, I have not done a Final Fantasy VII stream in quite a while now. And have very much started to think, huh, I really started that at a bad time, didn't I? I really should have waited longer for a time that I for sure had lots of time to be putting in. Because, like, the streams of it have been extremely far and few between. Let's see here. Here you go. Commit to Lilina. Yeah, if only I had brought Merlinus. But maybe it's a good thing I didn't, or else we'd be here all day. So, yeah, I want to make 100% certain that I am on top of these things that I want to be on top of. I don't want this to be like, you know, a university homework assignment where it's like, oh yeah, I'll have enough time if I just get to it later. But then the actual time comes, and then it turns out I don't have enough time, and then I'm like panicking and rushing things out, and then things aren't at the quality that I want them to be. So, I want to make 100% certain I am on top of the Binding Blade situation and the Switch 2 video essay situation before I get too carried away with doing other stuff here. Because yeah, I have a lot more to edit. I can show you, I think. Yeah, it's my project that's still open here. So, I have just a little smidge left of script part 2 to edit down. This stuff I think I'm gonna cut out. I've decided to like rework it and transition this in like a different way, so cut that out. But then I have this hour and 14 minutes to cut down. A lot of that is failed takes, especially because I'm trying this new formula of the camera is recording on me, like, from there while I'm speaking. So a lot of the time I'm trying to, like, look at the camera and speak at it, which means less looking at my script, which means more failed takes. So a lot of this is going to be cut out. I didn't have that idea until, like, I was editing this here, where I was already recording, like, from my, like, with video, because I figured, like, oh, I can just do, like, one continuous recording with OBS, and sometimes I'll look at the camera for shots that are meant to be just me speaking and not, like, other footage playing. But then I had the idea of, like, oh, it creates, like, there's more things happening on screen if, like, this element is in the top right corner, and there's the footage here that I'm kind of referring about. Instead of just showing diagrams, you show me speaking and talk about the diagrams, and it's a little bit more immersive, dynamic, there's more stuff going on, and I kind of like that. So the first hour of this video is going to be me basically never looking at the camera unless it's a segment where I don't have anything going on in the background. I specifically want to be directing myself directly towards the camera. There's no other footage going on here. But for part 3, I tried to, like, keep that in mind more. So you will notice me looking at the camera more while I'm in, like, the side corner here during, like, you know, after the hour mark in the video. And I could redo the earlier stuff, but then I have to redo the entire video and freaking don't really want to redo that all up to this point. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with that there. But yeah, we need deleted scenes, membership exclusive. I can just put my whole my whole uncut version of the recordings there as membership exclusive. You're just gonna see me redoing the same lines over and over again. I'm making little notes to myself like, oh, maybe take that line out, or this take is better. Or like me silently swearing under my breath at times when I keep on messing up the same line over and over again. When I clearly see the line as part of the script, and it's like, time to look at the camera ahead of me and just say it. And I keep on messing it up and then getting frustrated. Get to see that. This is what would happen. Okay. Wow. All the Staffy XP. Yeah, if only I had brought Merlinus during this map, I would have been able to get so much. You could totally have everyone have... What the heck? It was like super speed there. But yeah, knowing what I know about this game now, if I did a second playthrough of this, like, right from the beginning, and my goal was to have, like, every one of my main units in my team have, like, everything maxed, I could absolutely do it. Like, I could have all their stats maxed, go to that final secret shop with, like, so much funds that I grinded up. Have, like, everyone have, like, the most movement. Could max out stabs by utilizing... What the heck? Why is it, like, go into ultra super speed there sometimes? Max out stabs by grinding using these traps here. With a whole bunch of heal stabs that I picked up. Just fill the convoy with those. Like, it absolutely is possible. Dude, what the heck? To get through this game with a team where you've just, like, literally perfected them. I now see the vision for how that's possible. I'm not gonna be there, and that would require a metric shit ton of hours to, like, set up and do. Like, for what purpose? This strength is already gonna be more than enough to beat the game. I sure hope. Unless the game ends up being, like, stupidly difficult again in another surprise way coming up here. Wow. Yeah, it goes into, like, an ultra super speed. Maybe it's because I'm holding it? No, that doesn't do it. I don't know. I don't know what does it there. What'll happen once you end it? As far as I'm aware, like, that save file is basically done for. Like, you can redo the final map again, like one of those Fire Emblem games. But I think the most recent stuff that you had is what carries over into trial maps. So I guess you could argue that there is a point in, like, you end up stronger for trial maps that you can replay at, like, the main menu at any point. So there is sort of purpose to it in that sense. I don't think I'm going to have all the trial maps unlocked. I think there's like 8 or something trial maps in this game, and to unlock them requires different conditions to be fulfilled. Like, beat the game unlocks a lot of them. Beat the game on hard mode, I think, unlocks some more of them. And I don't know whether it's additional maps or additional characters you can use in trial maps where you need to beat the game multiple times. I think that there's, like, characters that you unlock that you can use in trial maps, like Ellawood, like Hector, like Guinevere. But the prerequisite is, like, you unlock a new character to play in trial maps for every time you beat the game. And I think for all of them, you need to beat the game like 7 times or something like that. And I don't think there's a new game plus in this game. So, if you want all the things, you just gotta beat the game multiple times. I don't know what all the conditions are for unlocking all the trial maps, but at least beating the game and beating the game on hard mode. And then beating the game multiple times for all the characters, but unlocking the maps in the first place, I don't know if you have to beat the game multiple times. Yeah, you can play them in the trial maps that have nothing to do with story, that are just like, hey, here's a challenge map for you to play. I'm pretty sure Ellawood is one of the ones you can play. I think Hector is. I'm not 100% certain. I can find out on Serenus Forest. Why is caps lock on? Serenus Forest, Binding Blade, trial maps. Let's see here. Trial maps, Binding Blade, miscellaneous. So let's see here. How exactly do the trial maps work anyway? Well, this game, the FE7 was the prequel to this game. So FE6 and FE7 are in the same world, and FE7 is the prequel game to this. So Ellawood and Hector are characters in this story. Roy is Ellawood's son. So, like, here we are as, like, the kid of the Marquis of Faerie heading out on this journey. So you get to play as the actual Marquis of Faerie after doing that. And Lilina's dad. Hector is Lilina's dad. So, let's see here. For the different maps, out of curiosity, we'll unlock map 1 by completing the game once. Complete the game once. Complete the game with the final chapter ending. So I guess just get, like, the true ending. So I'll have that done. Complete the game in hard mode. Yep, I'll have that done. Complete the game with the final chapter ending in hard mode. Yep, so I'll get that done. Yeah, so it'd be the version in this game where they're, like, older and stuff. So is that all the main trial maps? Will I unlock all 5 of them then? Promotional Greasel Execution Court. Obtained from the Hasha no Tsurugi competition in the V-Jump magazine. Award to 50 people. Wait, there's an exclusive map in FE6 that was only given to 50 people in the world? What? Is this something that you can use, like, cheats to hack in? Wait. Promotional V-shape map and J-shape map. Obtained from the Hasha no Tsurugi competition in the V-Jump magazine. Awarded 10 people. You're telling me that there's maps in this game that only 10 people in the world were ever allowed to play? I'm gonna have to do research to if this is something that you can hack in, or if it's just something that people know of from, like, these kinds of screenshots. What the heck? Promotional. Defeat bandits. Obtained from the ranking tournament on the Sword of Seal's official site. Nothing known about it. Yeah, and nothing really known about these ones either. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on with these. I can look into them if there's any actual way to play them nowadays. But it does sound like I will unlock all 5 trial maps. So, hey, I'll try to do them and stuff. I'll get all 5, like, unlocked and stuff. Route Roy only map. Oh. So it's going to be really imperative that I make Roy as strong as possible in this final stretch. Really commit to him. Yeah, and then the bonus trial map characters. Yeah, so the character... Oh, it goes up to 9 times. So the additional characters that you can play in trial maps are going to be... Narcian, is that a different translation for Narcian? Wyvern Lord, clear the game once. Gale, whoever that is, clear the game twice. Would that be Gal? Because, like, the translations are going to be slightly different. That's probably going to be Gal there, like, just a second L is what there is. So, yeah, that would be Narcian, then Gal. To clear the game once, clear the game twice. You unlock Hector as a playable character if you beat the game 3 times. You unlock Brunia as a playable character if you beat the game 4 times. You get Ellawood if you clear the game 5 times. Murdoch if you clear the game 6 times. Zephiel if you clear the game 7 times. And then there isn't even one for 8. You have to clear the game 9 times to unlock Guinevere as a playable character. From beginning to end. Oh, man. Yeah, so if you actually want to 100% Fire Emblem the Binding Blade, as in unlocking all of the possible characters that you can play in trial maps, of which there's only 5 unless you're one of the lucky few, I guess, you have to beat the game 9 times. I guess there'd only be 4 maps so you can actually deploy them on, considering the final one, I guess, is Roy exclusive. So, like, you would have to beat this game start to finish 9 times to unlock all the characters that you can play on 4 bonus maps. What a game, huh? Expect you to play this 9 times? Add it to the list. One of games to 100%. Slash just get through that many times. The list of almost impractical games to 100%. Ah, that kind of list. Yeah, it's, is a bit much. Like, I can see clearing the game, like, maybe 2 or 3 times, where it's, like, normal mode once, hard mode once, maybe you find out about the true ending, and then you go through getting, like, all the guide-in chapters, and you get the true ending. Like, that kind of thing I can see. Or, like, the route splits and stuff like that. The fact that you have, like, the route split with the piratey section, or, like, the very significant route split with the Ilia to Sake. Like, if the game actually told you about that, or I guess you just find out through some other means, then maybe there's, like, some replay value, because then you can play, like, the maps that you didn't play before, so. Plus with the guide-in chapters that you missed, and then potential true ending and stuff like that, I can see this being a game that after you play it for the first time, just casually, you could play through again, like, maybe once or twice. But 9 friggin' times! Alright, I think that's all my heals. I think that's all I got. Yeah, Saul broke everything. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure I got her to B with stabs, though, which is pretty nice. I don't know why I'm checking them for any stabs on their person. But yeah, look at that. Oh, I got her to A, yeah. Okay. Sweet. Alright. So yeah, there will be post-game content in this game. FE7 didn't have any post-game content, but in this game, after we beat the game, there will be post-game content, the trial maps, which I want to play at Mega Land. So, yeah. This is not some platformer like Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. This is 20+ maps lasting hours of time in a story-driven game. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I could see maybe once or twice if you really want to play, like, the guided maps that you missed, or you want to take, like, the Sake route instead of Ilia, or vice versa, and see, like, the maps that you never got to see before. But, I mean, it's kind of like a Three Houses situation where there's still a lot of the same that you have to go through just to be able to get to new stuff. So, like, how replayable is it really? But the game thinks that for some players, it's going to be replayable up to 9 times. For, like, the most dedicated of players, they get to play as Princess Guinevere in the trial maps for, like, 4 maps. Wow, what an amazing reward. Like, what a video game, huh? Out of curiosity, what turn is this? 210, amazing. All right, we're going to promote! We're gonna do the thing that's in, like, the going live meme for this stream. The meme that I posted when I went live with this stream was, this. So, let's make that true, please. Elfin, do you know what this spell tome is? Wow, do a thing on Discord quick. Discord, OBS. It is probably Apocalypse. Apocalypse? Yes. It is also known as the Elder Revelation. It was used by Bramamond, the most enigmatic of the 8 legends. Bramamond. I've heard the name, but nothing more. We know not if Bramamond was man or woman, young or old. Nothing specific is written. Well, we learn a bit more about that in FE7. That's unusual. Roy, is something wrong? No, I was just thinking. About what? So if you really want to play as her in trial maps, you better beat the game 9 times. There always seem to be traps where legendary weapons lie. Perhaps they are meant to keep the unworthy from wielding them. Maybe so. The traps are so intricate. I feel there must be something more to them than that. Do you know something? I have wondered the same thing. I shall see if there is any information on the subject. Yes, thank you. Got the Apocalypse. I'll give Three Houses this. You only need to play it 5 times to experience everything, if we count the Ash and Wolf side story. And the part 1 story slightly changes depending on your route. This is the same identical story 9 times. Not completely. There is a route split in this. It's branching in the sense that there's a couple key moments in the story where you branch to either A route or B route. You do a few chapters in that route, and then you converge back to, like, the same path. So you have a path that goes kind of like that, essentially, in the game. So there are different chapters that you can play as you go on with those splits that converge back, like the Ilia/Sakai route in this game. And with 3 houses, like, you do also have to deal with the calendar system and going through, like, the monotonous day-to-day that's fun on, like, a first playthrough, but as you're trying to do repeat playthroughs just to see the new stuff, it gets very monotonous. Whereas in this, at least it's just the chapters, chapter to chapter to chapter to chapter to chapter, as opposed to like a whole bunch of other fluff in the middle that turns it into like a much, much longer game. Lord Roy, the sword in the altar. This must be the Binding Blade. The name of the last chapter where we didn't even get it. I can't seem to draw it from this stone. Well, why the hell are you trying, Merlinus? It's sealed in the altar. We must use the Fire Emblem. Use it? How? Princess Guinevere said that it goes in the socket on the hilt. Whoa, what's happening? The blade is glowing. Now I should be able to draw it. We're gonna get a unique art for this, right? Something? What? These images. Are they the Binding Blades? No. Hartmut's memories? What was that? I don't understand what I'm feeling. It's very... Lord Roy, are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. So, this is Hartmut's sword. The Binding Blade. Am I really worthy to wield it? It is said that truly magnificent swords choose their owners. The sword is in your hands now. It has chosen you. Anyone with the Fire Emblem could have taken it. In theory, perhaps so. But it was you who reached it. This is fate. Now that we have the Binding Blade, all that's left is the King of Bern. We mustn't tarry. You're right. Zephiel must be stopped. Got the Binding Blade. It only has 20 uses. I forgot to pop my freaking angelic robe. What is wrong with me? What? When did I last save state? That was, oh my god, that's forever ago. Here we go. I can't believe this. I'm defending 3 houses now because of the absurd requirements in this. All right. Wow, he's so freaking unusable compared to my other units. But we can try changing that. All right. He barely changed, sure looks like. All right, we got the Binding Blade. It is currently 3 in the morning. But tell you what, I'll give one attempt to this map. One good attempt here to what is the base game final boss.